Hi everybody, it's me again. I made it back for another week. Been working on a lot of things, haven't gotten a single thing finished, and I'm sorry that you can see my light and my glasses. I could not pick a color to put on. I felt that the light that was on was too orangey, and I'm watching the Olympics, so I didn't want to go down to the clubhouse and record it, so I got out my light, figured out what light worked, and it kind of like I'm on the spectrum of all the lights right now, so you can see in my glasses it's going around and around. I'm sorry, I will try every once in a while to pull that down so it doesn't bother people, but I also have to be able to see. I must be tired because my one eye is kind of droopy. Anyway, so been working on a lot of stuff, still watching the Olympics, have been enjoying the Olympics. Got home from church today, was not active at all because I ended up crashing on the sofa and taking a little nap. Luckily I set my alarm clock because I had to get back up and go out again, and back to church. And the reason I went back to church is we are starting a youth group choir, and we were teaching them how to sing with our musician as backups and kind of group sing. So, and it went really well, but I didn't get home till 9 o'clock, so when I came in it was like fold. I had 2 loads of laundry to fold. My husband gave me a 3rd load to fold, so I'm like, okay, let's all fold them up real quick. So that's what I've been doing. So now it's time for me to do this video so I can get it on the screen and get it out on my Sunday. So what have I been doing? I'm up to no good. Now, what have I been doing? Well, I'm sorry that you can hear plastic bags next to me, but I found my husband had a lot major medical issues this year already, and they sent us these huge Ziploc bags, and you know, I'm recycling, so I'm using the bags to actually hold my crafts. So, and I can put them in a tub, keep them all together. It's easier for me when I go down to the clubhouse to record, put everything on my walker, walk down to the clubhouse, record it, and bring it all back. So that's what I've done. Well, I'm just going to lay on my bed, and I don't want to sit there and intermix anything, so I'm just kind of like leaving it go. So, last week, if you remember, I drew a, take it off so it doesn't fall out, a card out of my box, and what I drew was to embroider a boy pillowcase. Okay, so I went and looked at all the pillowcases that I have. Well, I have one, this one that I'm embroidering right now, that is boy oriented. The other 3 that I have in this set are definitely girls. One is Hugs and Kisses, one is a unicorn, the 3rd one I know has a cow, but it's definitely a girl. So I pulled this out and I started this Wednesday, and I had everything, by the time I went through all my stuff, I had everything but 2 colors, and I was like, oh, fantastic. So I started with this one, and one of the colors that I was missing was this one. So then I went on to this one. This one is actually completely done, except he's got a string down here that goes along with this purple string. It was a blue string, and I didn't have the blue. So I went and got the blue. So I started this one. So since Wednesday, I've worked on this 2 days, I believe. I was really happy when I got this one started, got it all done except for the color that's missing and the outlining. And then I started this one. I basically got it all done except for that bottom and one of these black lines that went from the color on up. And I was like, oh, that's not really that bad. So Friday, I believe it was, I started this one, and I worked on this Friday and a couple hours Saturday, so I'm hoping to finish this one tonight. And then I have the choice of either going back and finishing the one on this side, finishing that up, I have 3 of them done. So I'm thinking this Wednesday, at the rate that I'm going to have these 2 over here finished up. And that would make me very happy. And then this will be another pillowcase that I'm going to put away either for birthday or Christmas. I'm not sure which, but I will come to that when I get it, when it comes time to make that decision. So that is what I'm doing with that. And I didn't say, and I'm sorry about that, but this pillowcase and the last pillowcase that I did are both Herschner patterns up there. So I was really happy. This is easy. My granddaughter looked at it and she says, "You're moving really fast." And I said, "Well, it's basically just a satin stitch." I said, "I gave you one that had the satin stitch on it, but you didn't like it." And she says, "Oh yeah, I remember that one." I was like, "Well, you know, you could take it out, but I'm not going to go there." Alright, so that one goes, I'm going to work on that one, so I'm going to keep that one out. So the next one I did, Thursday. Thursday I used plastic canvas. So, I showed you this last week. What I had done was I had done the flowers that are going, there's 4 flowers that go here. And I finished those, I just hadn't glued them together. So I don't want to glue them together until I'm actually putting this together because I don't want it in my case. I don't want my case to squish it down. So I went through and finished all the brown, all the dark brown, and the outline stitching of all the leaves, and I got to finish this flower that I just realized I hadn't finished. I thought I was done this. So I sat down and counted out with the plastic that was in my box if I had a big enough piece to do the bird, because you were supposed to do the nest, the flowers, and the bird all out of one piece of plastic, and then you do the welcome sign and the eggs out of another piece of plastic. Well, I didn't have the second piece of plastic in here, so I wasn't able, when I was at my son's house doing this, to continue on with anything else but the eggs, because I didn't have another piece of plastic in here. So I got to put another piece of plastic in here so I can do that. So all I could do was do the eggs. So I cut out 4 eggs. I'm hoping they're there. So when I went over to meet the kids on Friday, I actually cut out 5 eggs. I don't know why I cut out, I guess because the piece of plastic allowed me to cut out 5 eggs. But I only need 4. So I started with all the colors, the one color of yarn that I had pulled from the box. The pieces that are not covered are supposed to be a dark blue. And then I pretty much got to my 4th egg. So that's where I was with that. And that's where I stopped. Because that's where I stopped. And I didn't work on this anymore Friday, because Friday is whips, which Friday means anything. And I took this over to my son's house Thursday, and I worked on it over there Thursday, and then I was in the car waiting for the grandkids to get off the school bus, so I left this in the car so I could work on it that Friday. But again, I forgot to put in a piece of plastic, so I got to put in a piece of plastic this Thursday, so I have to get that done so that I can take that with me. So that's that one. Crocheting. Well, I'm working on Jayda InStitches, her yarn, her blanket from the year. And I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just not into it right now. I guess it's the best thing to say. So I started her unicorn, which I got the square done. It'll lay out flat if I really push on it. I got the square done. I ran out of this blue, so I had to put another line of gray in there. I'm hoping not to do that again with any of the other ones. But I really wanted to make this, instead of the unicorn, I really just wanted to make it a horse. I'm going over to my son's house on Tuesday, and we're going to celebrate the year of the horse. The fiery horse, if you read it. So, I just wanted to make this as a horse, as a symbol. I may turn it into a unicorn. I don't know. I'll see how I feel when I get it done. And then I made the 2 ears. And they're the outer ears. I haven't made the inner ears yet, because I've been watching the Olympics. And it's kind of like, I don't want to put... I think there's probably some way to take my television set and do a 2-screen, but I don't want to do that like while I'm watching ice skating. But I wouldn't mind if it was like while the hockey was on. I wouldn't mind having 2 screens and being able to hear one screen and not the other side, but be able to watch both sides. So, or I can put up my pad, and that's how I got the ears done. But I have to kind of like put the pad right here in front of me, and I will look over to watch the television set, to the television set on mute, and watch what's going on. But I wasn't able to kind of like, I don't know, it just wasn't working for me. So all I got was the ears. But that's okay, because if this is a horse, I just need the outer and the inner ears, the muzzle, the face, the eyeballs, and the nostrils, which would be a total of like 6 pieces, but 7 pieces maybe. but none of them are very big. It's going to be more time stitching them on. Well, Mondays is a crochet day, so guess what I'm doing tomorrow? I've already pulled the color. I'm not sure if it's in here or not. I got white back in my bag, white back in the box. I didn't put it in the bag because I knew it was, I don't know if I'm keeping it or just using it for here. And I just really threw it in the box just to get off the table. So I got the green for the frog. Amazingly, he either has to be this green or he has to be mint green. So I figured this was the green to go with, so that's the green I went with. It's a little darker than I want, but you know what? It'll work. If I decide to continue with this, I'm not sure I'm going to. I don't know if I'm not really into it this year, although I love doing Jayda projects. I just am not doing this one very well. And I think I just want to do my other, I want to do my embroidery. I'm really enjoying that. I pulled out a latch hook. I'm really enjoying that. And I'm really enjoying my counted cross stitch. And at the moment, I feel like that's where I want to be. So, I think that's why I'm not really doing crochet. But, I showed you this last week. I drew this 2 weeks ago for Latch Hook. And this is my project. And I had showed you where I was. It's really big. Really big. It is a huge rug. It takes over, when I lay it out, it's almost my full 6 foot table. So I was on this row, and I thought, over here, I thought that was the row done. It's row 14, and I went all the way across. And I got to about here when I found out that I really wasn't done all the way across. So you can see, it's big. I'm doing my lake. My lake's getting in there. So somewhere in there, let's see if I can close it up enough that I can actually find it. I know, it like takes over. It's like a monster. It really is. It's huge. I gotta find my little piece. So I wasn't down as far as I thought I was. There it is. So I thought I had gone across 14 rows all the way across. And I hadn't. I'm right here. So this was row 14, but I wasn't all the way finished. But I've gotten to row 15. Let's see, I gotta look at the wrong side. I know it's taken over, isn't it? Let's see. Let's see. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I thought I was finished on this row. So I really wasn't finished this row. I was on this row, but not exactly finished. So that's row 14, and I have gotten row 15, 16, and 17 done. So I added 2 and almost a half row. No, 3 and almost a half row. So that's what I've gotten to it. So this is a tree outline. It is a lake. You have the shadow. Then you get more into the lake, and it just goes on and goes on and goes on. So that's where I am. So when I get done, I will go back through, reposition my paper clip, and I will go on from there. So I got to figure out how it folds so I can lay it down flat, because I'm trying to take up as least amount of room with this until it will not fit either on top of the box or in the box anymore. Right now it doesn't really fit in the box because the box has all the yarn pieces because they're everywhere. Because I'm breaking open, I've got over half of them broken open. I have a sandwich bag full of black, and I've actually started a second sandwich bag. A sandwich bag for green. The next one I have to open up, I have to do a whole thing of green. Another sandwich bag of green. And I have, all the rest of them are not that much. I have to open them up now if I need brown. I have to open them up if I need dark blue. Because the bags are just growing. I've got gold that's like coming out, almost ready for another bag. So it's growing a lot. Growing, growing, and growing. So, and then the last thing that I'm doing is I'm doing this one. And let's see where I was. The last time I was done, showed you this, I was done the mushrooms, and I had the roof, I had the bottom, and I had the legs, I believe. I had done these two things, and I started the butterfly. Well, I got the house done. Yeah, that's all I got done, was the house. But I really have enjoyed this, and this is one of the projects that I don't know why. I was waiting until it hits a busy day, and I'm just really busy. This is what I do on Tuesday. So the way I have it set up, Mondays are crochet, Tuesdays are counter cross stitch, which is this. Wednesdays is embroidery, which is that. Thursdays is plastic canvas, because I watch my grandkids over at my son's house, so I can take, that's something I can take with me. I have it in that box, and it works all together, so I take that with me. And Friday is a whip, so that's anything that I have that I'm currently working on. I can pick and choose whatever I want. And Saturday was supposed to be amigurumi, but we know how that worked out. I really just was not into the amigurumi. And then Sunday is anything I want to work on again. So I gave myself 2 days to work on anything I want, and then the rest of the week are specific days. Now the only other day it's not specific is Saturday. So I was trying to think, do I want to pull from the box again and pick another project to throw in this stuff, or do I want to wait until something is done? And I kind of want to wait, but I kind of don't want to wait. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull something with the understanding that I'm not going to start it until this project is done. I think this project's going to get done in the middle of this week. I think I'll have it done before next Sunday. So I'd rather have something to work on that day, because like when tonight, after I get done, it's Sunday, so it's anything I want to work on. I really want to work on this. So I'm going to finish this tonight and probably go back and finish these other 2 balloons. And then I only have 2 more balloons to do that, and they both took me a day and a half to get the 2 balloons done, and I'm going to get done. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and if I do that, that means I'll finish the balloon tonight. Wednesday, I will have the other 2 balloons finished and be working on the other balloons. And if I do the small balloon, I'll definitely have that done. But then Friday's an anything day, I can pick that again to work on, and then if I work on that, I'll be done. And then I'll have nothing to do, except I could do my latch hook rug. So I think with that understanding, because that latch hook rug is going to take me a long time to do, I'm not going to pull from the box. I'm going to wait, because even if I finish this pillowcase, I can use those excess days that I have and work on that actual latch hook rug, or work on my counted cross stitch, because the latch hook rug I bought it from Michael's. I had a 50% coupon, so I only paid half price, so it's like a $40 Latch Hook Kit. Back when I bought it, it's probably much more expensive now. And then, trying to think of when I bought this, we lived in Louisa County, so we've lived Colonial for 5, Cabin Creek for 5, Ashland for 3, that's 13. I bought this kit at least 14 years ago. This year is 2026, so let's say 2025. Minus the 14 would be 2011. I bought this kit way before that, because I bought this kit and my husband was going to have, I bought it beforehand, and my husband was going to have surgery. And I took the kit into the hospital with me. I figured, I'm sitting there for days. He was having surgery on a kidney. I would be sitting there, because we used to have down at VCU. I would be sitting there for hours. I'll work on this kit. Well, unbeknownst to me, the church that we were going to at the time, while I'm sitting there, my church family came and sat with me. I was expecting to be sitting by myself. That's why I took it. No, they turned around and sat with me. They took me down to the cafeteria and made sure that I ate. And they stayed with me the whole day until he came out of surgery and was in recovery and up into his room. And when I went to go up and see him, they said, okay, we're going to leave so that you can have your family time. And I thought that was so sweet and so special. So I wanted to thank them for it. So I never worked on it because I had a group of people with me the whole time. And I just put it in a closet and left it sit there, never pulled it back out, never opened it. I literally opened it because I pulled it out of that thing. So I would like to work on that and get it done. And my granddaughter asked me, she says, so what are you going to do with it and get it done? I'm like, well, it's a rug. I said I can hang it on the wall if I really want to, but it would have to be a big wall. It really doesn't go anywhere, though I'm not decor oriented. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So I said it's big enough to go in front of the living room sofa. It's big enough to go in front of the living room love seat. I said I may just put it on the floor and that'll be it. So we'll wait and see, but I do want to get it done. My counter cross stitch, I believe, is from 2023, I believe is when I bought it. Because I think I bought it in 2023. And then, 2024. And then, the reason I stopped doing that one was because they had another one that came out in 2024 that I really wanted to do. And that was across the Great North America. And we were going across country in 2024. So I really wanted to do that. So I stopped that to work on that. And then, like I said, my son came and asked me to do a scarf for him, so I stopped working on that to do the scarf. And I never kind of like got back into it. It was just something to set aside. I enjoy doing them. I love doing them. I really do, because I thoroughly enjoy them. It takes so long to get them done. You know, you're working on them forever to get them done. So that's my problem with not having them done as quickly as I would like to. And at some point, I have 2 other things of counter cross stitch I want to get back into. But they're going to be on hold for a while, a little longer. I have one that I started back in 2013. I started it in 2013. I've yet to finish it. And the other one, I started even before that. So I haven't finished that either. So those are all things waiting to be done. So let's say it's going to happen one day. So, okay, y'all, I'm going to get back to working. I'm going to work on my thing, watch my Olympics. I'm watching the pairs figure skating, and it's really beautiful. Enjoy it with the music. So, I hope y'all have a good week. I will see you next Sunday. Unless it looks like it's going to be a busy Sunday, then I may just turn around and shoot this on Saturday. I'll let you know. Y'all keep on crafting. Bye now.